স্যার আর 2-3 মিনিট একটু ওয়েট করি, আর কয়েকজন আসুক পার্টিসিপেন্ট, আর কয়েকজন আসুক, একটু 2-3 মিনিট সময় দেই স্যার।
স্যারের কথা হলো 9টা মানে 9টা, আমাদের প্রোগ্রামে দেখো না।
একটুখানি
দেরি করলে প্রবলেম হয় কি, সবসময় দেরি হইতে থাকবে আস্তে আস্তে।
আর ছিল না সুমন 10 মিনিট দেরি করছে। স্যার থাকলে পারে না, স্যার তো টাইম মানে টাইম।
স্যার একটুখানি 2-3 মিনিট, আর কয়েকজন ঢুকুক।
তুমি তাহলে
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।
9টা 5।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম।
9টা 5 স্যার, আর 4 মিনিট, 9টা 1 বাজে তো, আর 4 মিনিট স্যার, একটু সময় দেন স্যার।
সুমন আসছে?
সুমনের আরেকটা জরুরি মিটিং আছে স্যার 9টার সময়।
লেকচার করবে কে?
ওটা ওই আমাদের আরেকজন ডাক্তার আছে স্যার। আমি আজকে জাকিয়া এসছেন? জাকিয়া
আসছে, যাকে নাইদ আছে তো মিউট করা আছে। ছেলে ছবি দেখাচ্ছে বলে।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম ম্যাডাম, আছি।
আলহামদুলিল্লাহ, থ্যাংক ইউ। প্রেজেন্টার
ক্যাথরিনকে বসে রাখছো তোমরা?
স্যার এই আর 2 মিনিট।
বাচ্চারা তো খুব ব্যস্ত মানুষ, তারা খুব কাজের সময়।
তো 3 স্যার, আর 2 মিনিট।
আমাদের মনে হয় এগুলো উইকলি না করে একটু বোধহয় ফোর্টনাইটলি করলে বেটার হয়।
স্যার উইকলি তো জার্নাল ক্লাব, আর নেক্সট অল্টারনেট উইকে হলো স্যার টিউমার বোর্ড। আজকে তো জার্নাল ক্লাব স্যার।
অডিয়েন্স তো সবই এক
না থাকুক স্যার,
অডিয়েন্স তো ডিফারেন্ট
না হোক স্যার, আমরা
এত ফ্রিকোয়েন্টলি করতে মানুষ ইন্টারেস্ট হারিয়ে ফেলবে।
কিছু হবে না স্যার। এই যে এখনই আলহামদুলিল্লাহ দেখেন স্যার, প্রায় 45 জন হয়ে গেছে আলহামদুলিল্লাহ স্যার।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম শাহানা আপা।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। দিমা ভালো
কেমন
আছো?
আছেন? আছি ভালো, আপনি ভালো আছেন?
50 জন হয়ে গেছে, আমরা শুরু করি স্যার।
বাবা অনেক তো।
শুরু করে দাও, শুরু করে দাও।
Assalamu alaikum and very good evening to you all. Welcome you all to our journal club session. Today I want to request our President of Oncology Club, Professor M.A. Hai sir. Sir, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sahana. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we have the debate of which one? Today we have debate possible, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My heartiest welcome to all the participants, and particularly to any Catherine Goodman, who is very kind enough to join us from Boston, a very far off place.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, God, Catherine, again. Without any delay, we're already 5 minutes late. Dr. Shah, I'm asking Dr. Shahana to start the conference immediately.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Today, we are always blessed with Dr. A.K. Goodman, because every day she is with us in every program. Today, our debate session, the topics of the debate session is Kamal bhai কিছু করে দিছিল, কোথায় কাগজ রাখছি সব ভুলে গেছি। কামাল ভাই,
হ্যাঁ বলো।
ডিবেটের টপিক যেন পরে আবার কি ঠিক করছিলেন ভুলে গেছি।
বুঝি না।
সাবরিনা, সাবরিনা,
হ্যালো
ম্যাডাম আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ডিবেটের টপিকসটা
Minimal invasive surgery is superior to open surgery in the management of cervical cancer. Hi, Eke.
today the topic of our debate is the minimal invasive surgery in management of the cervical cancer. It is superior to open surgery. The two presenter, one is Dr. Zakia Nahid, another is Dr. Sabrina Kadir. The Zakia Nahid will talk in favor of this topic. So I request Dr. Zakia Nahid to present our topic. Dr. Zakia Nahid, please. Zakia, thank you.
unmute করে জাকিয়া। স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করো। হ্যাঁ,
am I visible and audible sir?
you are audible but your screen is not
Slide
clearly.
share. Slide is not seen.
পারতেছে না।
সামির একটু হেল্প করো।
স্যার ম্যাডামের স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করা আছে অলরেডি, ওনার অ্যাপ্লিকেশনের প্রবলেম হচ্ছে
এটা
মাইক্রোসফট
অফ
পাওয়ার
করে
পয়েন্ট।
করতে বলো। ওটা ওই আগে ওপেন করে পরে ইয়ে করতে হবে, শেয়ার করতে হবে।
মনে হয় কি এরপর থেকে সবাই ইয়েগুলি সামিরের কাছে মনে হয় পাঠাই দিলে অথবা আমাদেরকে যদি একটু পাঠাই দেয়।
আগে এটা পুরোটা বন্ধ করো, স্ক্রিন শেয়ার বন্ধ করে আবার ওপেন করো, তারপরে স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করো।
আমি আপনার স্ক্রিন শেয়ার অফ করে দিচ্ছি, আপনি আগে পিপিটিটা ওপেন করে মিনিমাইজ করে রাখেন, দেন স্ক্রিন শেয়ার দেওয়ার পর পিপিটিটা আপনি দেখেন।
লাইট শেয়ার হচ্ছে না ঠিক মতো।
এখন স্ক্রিন শেয়ার দাও, তুমি ওটা ফাইলটা রিডিউস করে স্ক্রিন শেয়ার দাও। এখন স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করো।
স্যার আমি আবার একটু জয়েন করি।
নো প্রবলেম।
নাহলে আপনি ওটা আমাদেরকে একটু মেইল করলেও তো হয়, তাইলে আমরা তো শেয়ার করতে পারি।
যদি না ঢুকতে পারে, যে গেস্টে যে আছে সে বলুক।
স্যার জয়েন করছে, স্যার জয়েন করছে স্যার।
আসছে অথবা জার্নাল প্রেজেন্টেশনটা করে দিক, এটা
হচ্ছে না কেন জানো? না বুঝতেছি না, শেয়ার হচ্ছে না কেন জানো?
স্যার সাবরিনা বলুক, ওই যে
এই যে
আসছে।
আসছে বোধহয় এবার।
স্যার
না, শুরু করে এবার। আলহামদুলিল্লাহ।
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, everything okay. Visible, audible, everything. We start immediately.
I'm starting, sir. MIS includes laparoscopic surgery and robotic assisted surgery, which has a great impact over the treatment of cervical cancer. Today's topic is MIS is superior to open surgery in the management of cervical cancer. Honorable Chairperson, my dear senior and junior colleague, Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Jakia Sultana, FCPS Gynae Oncology Part 2 student, BSMMU, and I am in favor of this today's topic. At Benny et al., which is published in Gynecological Oncology at March 2020, minimally invasive surgery versus laparotomy for radical hysterectomy in the management of early-stage cervical cancer and survival outcomes, which is a retrospective study where sample size was 196, shows with advancement in surgical techniques and technologies, introduction of laparoscopic and robotic assisted radical hysterectomy, the minimally invasive approach has been increasingly used as an alternative to open radical hysterectomy. MIS gaining popularity to operative and perioperative benefits over laparotomy.
শুনেন, আপনার স্লাইড চেঞ্জ হচ্ছে না তো?
ওনার এটা তো পিডিএফ ফরম্যাট, এটা তো পাওয়ার পয়েন্ট প্রেজেন্টেশন ফরম্যাট না।
আপনি এটা ইয়ে করেন, তাহলে সাবরিনা কাদের বলুক, এগেইনস্টে বলুক, আপনি এটা মেইল করেন, তো আমাকে মেইল করেন কামাল ভাই।
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে,
সাবরিনা বলুক, আরো
হ্যাঁ,
মেইল ও দেখাক। সাবরিনা, সাবরিনা
ম্যাডাম আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
আসসালাম। এই যে আপনি বলেন, আপনি শুরু করেন, ও পরে বলবো, ওটা মেইল করুক। বলেন আপনি।
ম্যাডাম উনি শেয়ার করার সময় আমি করতে পারতেছি না, আমার আসতেছে।
জাকিয়া, আপনি পরে বলেন।
উনি ম্যাডাম পাওয়ার পয়েন্ট স্লাইডটা পাইছে মনে হয়, পাশেরটাই ছিল, উনি ভুল স্লাইড শেয়ার করছিল।
পেয়েছেন?
হ্যাঁ, এই যে পেয়েছে।
এটা তো অপোজিশন।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, সাবরিনাই বলুক। বলেন সাবরিনা, বলেন। ইয়েস, ওকে।
Am I audible?
Yes.
Sir? Can I start now?
Yes. আপনি বন্ধ করেন, ও আগে বলুক। জাকিয়া আপনি স্ক্রিন শেয়ার বন্ধ করেন, আপনি থাকলে ওটা পারবে না।
দেখো তো আবার। Shall I start?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Honorable Chairperson, respected Annie Catherine Goodman and learned audience, Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Sabrina Kadir, resident NICRH. Today, our debate topic is minimal invasive surgery is superior to open surgery in the management of cervical cancer. I am against the saying. Before all saying, I want to say something, that is all randomized control trial comparing minimal invasive surgery versus open surgery in early stage endometrial cancer, non-metastatic colon cancer, distal gastric cancer showed equivalent survival rate and reduced surgical mortality and morbidity. So what about in cervical cancer? First of all, we all know that the success of cancer treatment depend on three parameters. One is overall survival, one is recurrence, and another is disease-free survival. So depending on three parameters, Alexander Melamed performed an retrospective analysis which was published in New England Journal of Medicine as survival after minimal invasive radical hysterectomy for early stage cervical cancer. And all the data were from SEER database and National Cancer Database of USA. Stage included FIGO 2014 1A2 to 1B1. And in that study, open case were 1236 and minimal invasive surgery were 1225. So what we see outcome, and the outcome were 4-year mortality rate, and 4-year mortality rate in minimal invasive surgery was 9.1%, where it was 5.3% in open group, and p-value was 0.002, which was highly significant. Then another retrospective study was performed by Shitangshu Uppal, namely minimally invasive surgery linked to higher recurrence risk in early cervical cancer. It's a multi-institutional study and which included also FIGO 1A1 to 1B1. And it was a highlighted recurrence. Recurrence in MIS was 42, which was more than open arm, and death was also high in MIS, that was 26. Journal of Gynecologic Oncology published another study, namely minimal invasive surgery for radical hysterectomy in women with cervical cancer. It was performed by Korean Society of Gynecologic Oncology, Korean Society of Obstetric and Gynecology, and Korean Society of Gynecological Endoscopy and Minimal Invasive Surgery position statement. And they highlighted progression-free survival, which was 78.5% in MIS arm. Instead, open arm, it was 90%. Here also p-value was highly significant. Then came the landmark study in case of minimal invasive surgery versus abdominal radical hysterectomy. It was known as LACC trial, which is the only prospective study in this field, which is phase 3 randomized control trial and a multi-center study which was performed in 13 countries. Its primary outcome was disease-free survival and secondary outcome was recurrence and overall survival. It was performed by Pedro T. Ramirez and Rena Pereza, and it was published in New England Journal of Medicine in November 2018. All the baseline clinicopathologic characteristics of the patient in two arms, that is open surgery and minimal invasive surgery, are equivalent. And what was the performance? What was the outcome of LACC trial? Let's see. Disease-free survival was 91.2%, which was far less than open surgery, open radical hysterectomy, and overall survival was also low, that is 93.8%. Recurrence was high is minimal invasive surgery, that was 27. As no study is immune from limitation, so is LACC trial. And the two most important limitations of LACC trial are it could not reach its final intended enrollment, and less than 2 centimeter of tumor, it could not be generalized. Then Krishnanshu S. Tiwari performed a review analysis as minimal invasive surgery for early stage cervical carcinoma, interpreting laparoscopic approach to cervical open trial results. It was published in ASCO in Journal of Clinical Oncology, performed detailed analysis of open surgery, and finally concluded that feasibility of performing another prospective study will be questionable and ethical issue will also arise. Let's look at this study also. This is done by Rana Pareza, and it is safety of minimal invasive radical hysterectomy in cervical tumor less than 2 centimeter. And it also says that a worse 5-year disease-free survival in the laparoscopy group compared with the open surgery group, that is 97.7% to 90.4%. So after all this discussion, my learned fellow opponent will agree with me that minimal invasive surgery is not superior to open surgery in cervical cancer. And we both can conclude the debate saying, as Mario M. Jr., that LACC trial has been dealt as to minimal invasive surgery as a knockout punch. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Sabrina. Thank you very much. Dr. Zakia, are you ready now?
Oh, I'm trying, madam.
Yes, yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
জাকিয়া তুমি স্ক্রিন শেয়ার বন্ধ করে ওইটাকে খোলো, খুলে মিনিমাইজ করো প্রেজেন্টেশনটা, তারপরে স্ক্রিন শেয়ার অন করো। স্ক্রিন শেয়ার বন্ধ করো, তোমার পাওয়ার পয়েন্টটা খোলো, খুলে মিনিমাইজ করো, তারপরে স্ক্রিন শেয়ার দাও।
Okay, sir.
তুমি শেয়ারটা বন্ধ করে প্রেজেন্টেশনটা খোলো তোমার ল্যাপটপে, খুলে ওটা মিনিমাইজ করো, দেন স্ক্রিন শেয়ার অন করো।
Can I show my PDF, sir?
Yes, you can. No
Okay,
problem.
sir. Okay. Minimal invasive surgery includes laparoscopic and robotic assisted surgery, which
You
has
cannot see
a
it.
great
I'm not
impact over the treatment of management of cervical cancer.
Your
Today's
slide.
topic is MIS is superior to open surgery in the management of cervical cancer.
Slide
স্লাইড দেখা যাচ্ছে না।
মানে বললাম আপনি আমাদেরকে মেইল করেন।
আপা যদি বলতে না পারে আমার মনে হয় যে ও বলে যাক, এটা তো বোঝা যাবে তো।
আর আপনাকে তো আমাদেরকে মেইল করতে বলেছি, তাও তো করেন নাই আপনি। বলে যান বলে যান বলে যান।
ওকে, আমার মনে হয় ইউ প্রসিড, আমরা শুনি।
বলেন।
স্যার মিনিমাইজ তো করেছেন, কোথায় প্রবলেম হচ্ছে বুঝতেছি না।
আপনাকে তো মেইল করতে বলেছি, আমাদের মেইল করলে তো আমরা শেয়ার করতে পারতাম, তাও তো করেন নাই।
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
You know, I think that Dr. Zakia I think Dr. Zakia has a beautiful presenting voice, and she is so clear that I think just from listening to her, we will.
Sir, can I proceed? এখন তো দেখা যাচ্ছে স্যার, can I proceed?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, sir. Minimal invasive surgery includes laparoscopic and robotic assisted surgery, which has a great impact over the treatment of CS cervix. Honorable Chairperson, my dear senior and junior colleague, Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Zakia Sultana, FCPS Gynae Oncology Part 2 student, BSMMU, and I am in favor of today's topic. The study Benny et al., which is published in Gynecological Oncology at March 2020, minimally invasive surgery, early cervical cancer, survival outcomes, a retrospective study where sample size was 196, shows with advancement in surgical techniques and technologies, introduction of laparoscopic and robotic assisted radical hysterectomy, the minimally invasive approach has been increasingly used as an alternative to open radical hysterectomy. Minimal invasive surgery gaining popularity due to operative and perioperative benefit over the treatment option. So which one is preferred, MIS or open surgery? Here in the study, Marcelo et al. Radical trachelectomy in early stage cervical cancer shows the superiority of MIS itself. From the hospital stay to median follow-up, it shows its superiority indeed. Another study, Gray et al. And Alpa et al. Shows high fertility rate of 81% following robotic radical trachelectomy, low rate of preterm delivery, 94% term delivery, cancer recurrence 4% in MIS, and no compromise in histopathological outcome. Here I'm showing another evidence, minimally invasive surgery versus laparotomy for radical hysterectomy in the management of early stage cervical cancer survival outcomes. It's a USA-based single center study, shows the superiority, that is 5-year survival rate 87%, disease-free survival rate 98.5%, and overall survival rate 96.5%. Another study, that is original research, no survival difference between robotic and open radical hysterectomy for women with early stage cervical cancer, shows neither long-term survival nor pattern of recurrence differed significantly between open and robotic surgery. Minimal invasive robotic radical hysterectomy with no touch isolation technique for stage 1A to 1B, 1C cervix was a safe approach in terms of oncologic outcome. Minimally invasive surgery for early stage cervical carcinoma in this study, PIKE shows no differences in overall survival and DO shows no differences in recurrence, progression-free survival, and overall survival. Another study, prognostic and safety roles in laparoscopic versus abdominal radical hysterectomy in cervical cancer meta-analysis shows disease-free survival, overall survival, and recurrence rate did not differ in balanced prognostic factor. Number of removed pelvic and para-aortic lymph node did not significantly differ. Laparoscopic radical hysterectomy is safe and has lower operative complication, that is 25% only, and 30 days risk of venous thromboembolism after MIS of C cervix is extremely low, that is 0.5%. Another study, TENITRA, shows us MIS has less blood loss, shorter hospital stay, less operative, perioperative, and postoperative complication. Laparoscopic radical hysterectomy for early stage cervical cancer was a safe and effective in terms of long-term outcomes with lower surgical morbidities, and postoperative complication was very minimum, that is 11.1% only. The most popular LSCC trial, which show the superiority of open surgery, but I'm strongly against that. Several revisiting and rethoughting occurs, and I'm showing the interpretation and implication of the LSCC trial shows open surgery cannot be generalized to low-risk patients who still can undergo laparoscopic surgery. Minimal invasive radical hysterectomy can still be considered as oncologically safe treatment option in trained hands. Similar recurrence rate for MIS and open surgery, whereas Ni, Yan, and Liu in their single center study reported that MIS radical hysterectomy has recurrence rate only 0 to 4%. Now I am focusing my opponent's view that the limitation of LSCC trial that shows outcome reports were submitted too early. It needs to be reevaluated after 2 years. Increased recurrence rate may be due to inadequate control of operating surgical techniques. Safety alert raised by the Data and Safety Monitoring Committee. Controversy about the strength of the study. Only total survival, not disease-free survival, was assessed. Bias towards open surgery and incomplete data was presented. Lastly, I am showing the disadvantages of open surgery in the view of minimally invasive surgery for early stage cervical carcinoma, interpreting the LSCC trial, that is hospital-acquired infection, hospital cost, voiding ambulation, and wound complication like cosmesis, cellulitis, superficial wound separation, fascicle dehiscence, and many more like visualization not magnified, so that larger blood loss and more transfusion. So considering all the evidence limitations of LHCC trial, I am strongly in favor of MIS in the treatment of cervical cancer. So will you be with me for the serving of the patient to minimal injury and maximum benefit? Thank you, my opponent. Thank you, my dear participant, and thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Zakia. At last, it's your excellent presentation.
ম্যাডাম পাওয়ারপয়েন্ট দেখাতে পারি নাই, পিডিএফ থেকে বলেছি।
অনেক সুন্দর হয়েছে, থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। Can I ask Dr. AK, please give some comment about these two presenters? AK, please.
Sure. Dr. Zakia, would you please stop sharing your screen? Yes. Hi. First of all, congratulations. You both have done wonderful, wonderful research. And I think you both illustrate the confusion. I would say that there's some confusion to trying to understand what it is that we're seeing. We're seeing some kind of a signal here in the data, and we're trying to explain it. So just to back up a little bit, first of all, one of the things I was thinking about is, as you were talking, is if we just like were able to go back 100 years, just think about it. If we could go back to Wertheim, Professor Wertheim, and ask the question, how was it that the surgery called a radical hysterectomy was developed? How was that developed? That was the early, 20th century, right? And that was a time where cervical cancer, there was no pap smears, there was no radiation. I mean, it was really a very, very different era, right? And women were dying of cervical cancer as they do around the world where there are no resources for healthcare, right? This procedure was developed and became a curative procedure in this setting where there was no spread to lymph nodes. So what we learned in the early days of surgery, right, was that you could cure cervical cancer if you did a radical enough surgery, that is, your margins, your ability to get around the ligaments, the pelvic ligaments and the upper vagina was good enough that you could potentially cure a group of women with cervical cancer. And what we know from the collective experience over the last 100 years is that survival from cervical cancer is directly related to lymph node status. So lymph nodes correlates completely with 5-year survival, right? So the incidence of nodes and survival in cervical cancer. So that's what we know. So it's very interesting because technically that means if we have a local regional disease, there's no metastatic disease, it's just local, we can cure it, okay? And then on top of that, we've had other things like radiation and chemo and so forth. So now along comes minimally invasive surgery, and the question comes, can we do the same curative radical technique, but using tools that are minimally invasive, that require peritoneum, that requires some sort of manipulation of the uterus and cervix to allow the surgery to happen, right? And then to remove everything through the vagina. And when I say that there's a signal that's problematic, it's if you look at the one prospective randomized trial, which is the LAX study, they showed an extraordinary difference in terms of recurrence rate and survival. The other studies, they're sort of a mix. And of course, they're going to be biased based on size of tumor, based on particular techniques. But the LAC trial tried to universalize the care, right? So why is it that this one study showed this, this tremendous difference? And this was in a setting where there was no change or difference in terms of lymphatic spread or lymph node positivity. This was all about the surgical technique. Right, so that's very interesting. I don't know that we know the answer. There's a lot of theories. One theory is it's really about the manipulation of the cervix. You put in this manipulator into the middle of the uterus, and maybe it squishes tumor cells out, right? The other theory is that perhaps you're not as radical when you're doing minimally invasive surgery as you are when you're doing open surgery. That's my personal theory, because I think it's very, very hard to get a good margin on your uterosacrals. When you do minimally invasive surgery, you really worry about rectal injury. And when you're doing open surgery, you're able to really protect the rectum much better. So it's very easy to get all the way to the sidewall and get your parametria removed in a minimally invasive fashion. It's much harder to separate the uterosacral, okay? Because you have to really mobilize that rectum and get it out of the way. it's a lot harder technically to do that with minimally invasive surgery. You're using different tools, you're using a lot of cautery or harmonic heat. And so your risk of rectal injury is a lot higher. So a lot of times you'll see people do a much smaller uterus sacral resection with minimally invasive surgery. I mean, I think to Dr. Zakia's point, it's for absolutely sure that minimally invasive surgery has a lower short-term complication rate. There's less blood loss, there's less hospitalization, people are home earlier, your bladder dysfunction is much less, and so forth. But the issue of recurrence, I think, is still unclear. So I think those are really your issues. It's a very, very interesting question. I think you both bring it up very, very, very well. In the United States, I think that people don't do it. They don't do minimally invasive surgery for cervical cancer anymore. It has gone away because of the LAC trial. But I agree with Dr. Zakia in that I feel like we haven't fully answered the question about why, and can we do something better to improve it? I think my final point is when we think about endometrial cancer and colon cancer and gastric cancer, as Dr. Sabrina was saying, those are other places where we've looked at and compared minimally invasive versus traditional surgery and haven't seen a difference. It's kind of a different biology of tumor. You know, cervical cancer is a spreader through the ligaments. So you have a lot of direct extension before you see distant spread. Endometrial cancer really goes to lymphatic spread, you know, depending on the size of the tumor, and much less along the ligaments. So it doesn't really matter. You don't have to do anything radical in taking out that uterus in endometrial cancer. It's a very, very different biology. Anyway, very interesting discussion. Great. Thank you so much for the opportunity to listen in. Thank you.
Thank you, okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Now I request, now is our journal presentation. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, madam.
Dr. Meena Chaudhary to present the topic.
How do you do that? That is going to go for the unmute for us. Do you hear me?
Yes, slide share.
Slide share. Okay. Is the slide visible?
Yes, visible. Slide
okay.
share.
Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening. This is Dr. Meena Chaudhary, Gynae Oncology Subspecialty trainee of Dhaka Medical College, is going to present the today's journal paper.
Share হয় নাই, slide share.
Slide share দিয়েছি তো না?
ম্যাডাম ফুল স্ক্রিন করতে হবে ম্যাডাম প্লিজ।
প্রেজেন্টেশনটাকে প্লে করেন, প্লে।
নিচে নিচে ডান দিকে।
নিচে ডান দিকে একটা কাপের মতো আছে, ওটা দেন। ডান দিকে, ডান দিকে।
ডান দিকে রাইট ম্যাডাম আসলে
64%
দেখা যাচ্ছে কাপ।
ম্যাডাম নিচে ডানে ইয়েলো কালার দেখছেন নিচে ম্যাডাম ডানে ইয়েলো কালারটা যেটাতে আছে তার চারটা বাটন পর দেখেন ম্যাডাম 1 2 3 4 64% এর লেফট সাইডে যেটা
64% এর পাশেরটাই, পাশের পাটটা কাপের গবলেট কাপের মতো
64%
রাইট সাইডে নিচে ম্যাডাম
লেফট সাইডে
রাইট সাইডে ম্যাডাম রাইট সাইডে
ওকে
জি জি জি
এটা ও ঠিক আছে হচ্ছে না তো ঠিক আসছে ওকে আসছে হ্যাঁ আসছে ম্যাডাম
সুপার
ডু ইউ হিয়ার মি ডু ইউ হিয়ার মি
yes
okay assalamu alaikum and a very good evening. This is Dr. Meena Chaudhary, Gynae Oncology Part 2 student of Dhaka Medical College, is inviting you to today's journal presentation. Before starting that, I showed my utmost respect to who sacrificed their life during the COVID era. So now the presentation, and the paper is on phase 3 randomized trial of post-operative pelvic irradiation in stage 1B cervical cancer with poor prognostic feature, follow-up of a gynecologic oncology group study. Author Marvin Rothman, MD et al., and it was published in May 2006. Why the paper is selected? DOG-92 is a landmark trial which established the advantage of adjuvant pelvic radiotherapy following radical surgery with stage 1B cervical cancer. This trial is a long-term follow-up of DOG trial. It was published in a high-index journal and high impact value, that is 4.623, and journal was cited for 492 times. Introduction and background. Stage 1 cervical cancer has a relatively favorable prognosis after radical hysterectomy or radiotherapy, and the cure rate is about 80%. The mortality rate, 20% after surgery, remain unchanged during the last 3 decades. And metastasis to lymph node is a known prognostic factor, and pelvic lymph node metastasis decreases 5-year survival, that is 38 to 61%. Certain histopathological features of cervical cancer have shown to be independent risk factor for locoregional failure, and 25% of all stage 1B cervical cancer patients have this risk factor. The risk factors are large tumor diameter, deep stromal invasion, and capillary lymphatic space involvement by the tumor. Previous gynecologic oncology group study confirmed that this additional risk factor also increases the probability of cancer recurrence at 3 years from 2 to 31%. And several authors propose that patients with these risk factors, such as large tumor diameter, deep stromal invasion, and capillary lymphatic space involvement, might benefit from post-operative radiotherapy. Aim of study. This study was designed with primary endpoint of disease recurrence and to update the result of recurrence-free interval, to provide final result of analysis of overall survival, and to discuss possible reason for differences between recurrence and survival result. And all are on the basis of follow-up period for the patient enrolled in DOG Protocol 92. The study was a prospective randomized control trial, multicentric. Study period, it started from 1995 September to March 2006, and written informed consent was obtained from all patients prior to the study. Eligibility criteria, and all patients were in primary stage 1B cervical cancer, and staging was done according to the FIGO. Histopathology was squamous, adenosquamous, or adenocarcinoma, and they are treated with standard radical hysterectomy and had negligent lymph node. One of the following combination of following risk factor were present. These are capillary lymphatic space involvement, stromal invasion, and tumor size. Patients with abnormal blood counts, abnormal liver and kidney function, genitourinary tract abnormality, intercurrent disease, and other conditions that might not permit completion of the study or require follow-up are excluded from the study. After verification of the inclusion and exclusion criteria, 299 patients was randomly selected initially, and then 22 patients were excluded, and lastly 270 patients was randomly selected, and 137 patients were in radiotherapy arm and 140 in observation group. In the study, radical surgery means removal of uterus along with contiguous parametrial tissue to its most lateral extent, paravaginal tissue and upper quarter of the vagina, and proximal uterosacral ligament. And pelvic lymphadenectomy include bilateral removal of all nodal tissue and skeletonization of all vessels from the mid portion of the psoas muscle to ureter medially including the hypogastric artery and vein from the obturator fossa anterior to the obturator nerve. After completion of the radical hysterectomy, adjuvant radiotherapy was given to the patient, and it started within the 4 to 6 weeks post-operatively. Only EVRT was given. 4-4 technique was used for pelvic irradiation with a megavoltage beam. Radiation dose was from 46 gray in 23 fraction to 50.4 gray in 28 fraction, 5 fraction per week. Daily fraction was 1.8 to 2 gray, and treatment break for clinical problem were not allowed more than 1 week. After completion of the radiotherapy, patient was under observation and regular follow-up was given. During follow-up, they are evaluated by physical examination, blood counts, blood chemistry, and chest X-ray every 3 months during the first year of follow-up and every 6 months during the subsequent year. Interference parallelogram, renal sonogram, or computed tomography was done at 6 months and then yearly. In the study, quality was strictly controlled. All histological slides were reviewed by 2 pathologists of GOG pathology committee, and any disagreement among the reviewing pathologists were resolved by a GOG referee pathologist. And the radiotherapy committee examined the therapy form, diagram of irradiated field, dosimetric curve, and total field for each external field radiation. Review of operative report was conducted to evaluate the completeness of surgical procedure. Some operational definition is used in the study. Recurrence-free interval, it is the time from study entry to physical or radiographic evidence of disease recurrence or to date patient was last seen. And the overall survival is the length of time from either the date of diagnosis or the start of treatment for a disease such as cancer to the patient diagnosed with the disease are still alive. And site of recurrence, it is local when within the pelvis or vagina and distance when outside the pelvis. Now the study outcome. The primary outcome was recurrence-free interval and recurrences, and secondary one survival and complication. Statistical analysis. The unadjusted differences in recurrence and survival by treatment arm were evaluated by use of log rank test and application of intent to treat principle. Cox proportional hazard regression model was used to accomplish the difference between treatment regimen and adjusting prognostic factor. All statistical tests reported are one-side test with significance level of alpha 0.05. Now the result. Here the table shows the data of the patient characteristics. Most of the in the table, most of the patients were 31 to 60 years of age, and they are in the radiotherapy arm, and most of them are white. Cell types, squamous cell type was more in observation arm, and adenosquamous and adenocarcinoma was more in radiotherapy arm. And largest tumor diameter are mainly in the radiotherapy arm. This slide shows the distribution of the patient with combination of 3 risk factors. That is capillary lymphatic space involvement by the tumor. It is more evidence in the observation arm, and the deep tumor stromal invasion and the largest tumor size are more in radiotherapy arm. This is the slide of cumulative incidence of recurrence by treatment group. Here the curve shows that 82% of the recurrence were seen within the first year after enrollment, 92% were seen within the first 5 years, only 2% recur later than 6 years, and risk of recurrence is lower in RT arm than observation arm. Here shown that the continuous line represent the radiotherapy arm and interrupted line represent the observation arm. The risk of recurrence is lower in radiotherapy arm throughout the period, and it is increases in observation arm. This table shows the histological variation of the tumor. This is marked decrease of recurrence was seen in RT arm with patient with adenocarcinoma or adenosquamous histologies. And it is the p-value is 0.019. It was significant. And this slide shows the progression-free survival. Here, in 30 patients in RT and 49 patients in observation recurred or died. And here it shows that the continuous line is for RT arm and interrupted line for observation arm. The progression-free survival is more in RT arm throughout the whole length, and in observation arm, survival is lower throughout the whole length. This table shows the causes of death and recurrence status by the treatment regime. The data shows overall number of death in RT arm was 27 and compared to 40 in observation arm. And overall number of death after recurrence are lower for RT group. And in both group, majority survivor, that is 97.3% in RT arm and 91% in observation arm had no recurrence. And most of the death that were due to the recurrent disease. This slide shows the survival of the patient at the end of the study. The survival here, the 27 patient and 40 27 patient in radiotherapy arm and 40 patient in the observation arm were died, and the RT patient were 30% less likely to die than were in observation patient. Here, continuous line, that is IAM shows that within the 15 months here, within 15 months, survival was very poor. Then in radiotherapy arm, it is increasing, but in observation arm, the survival was decreasing. At the end, there is convergence of the curve, but so the overall survival cannot be concluded from the study, but the convergence was not due to the recurrence. It was mainly due to the recurrent disease. This table shows estimated relative hazard of death by prognostic subgroup, treatment effect, and proportion of dying. These data are showing risk of death was significantly lower in patient with negative capillary lymphatic space involvement, deep stromal invasion, and large tumor size, but results were inconclusive for remaining subgroup. This is the table of This shows the data of this showing the data of recurrence. So sorry. This showing the metastasis of the disease. This showing the recurrence of the disease. This table showing the data of recurrence of the disease. In RT arm, 16 of 24 recurrences occurred within 15 minutes. Additional 4 recurred within 4 years, and the remaining later than the 4 years after enrollment. 4 of 24 recurrences were outside the pelvis, and 19 were locoregional. And now this slide shows the complication of radiotherapy. Here, the genitourinary complication was more severe, and other complications were hematologic, gastrointestinal, and neurologic. Though the morbidity of complication of radiotherapy was more, but p-value was 0.0083. It was not statistically significant. Now the discussion. Both larger tumor diameter and deep stromal invasion affect the cancer progression and its metastatic spread. Chung et al. Also reported that cervical cancer larger than 4 centimeters in diameter was associated with 5-fold increase in pelvic lymph node metastasis, 10-fold increase in recurrences, and 50% decrease in survival. The invasion of lymphovascular space by tumor to be an unfavorable prognostic factor. Boyce reported vascular invasion contribute prognostic information beyond the cervical size. And Boyce et al. Emphasized that the combination of the risk factor correlate better with the survival than one factor alone. Adenocarcinoma or adenosquamous carcinoma is more sensitive to radiotherapy than squamous variety. And appropriate dose of radiotherapy and compliance to radiotherapy can reduce the risk of recurrence. So what the study showed? The study showed that adjuvant radiotherapy significantly reduced the number of cancer recurrence in a man with above risk factor by 44%. Differences in recurrence between irradiated and non-irradiated patient was statistically significant. P-value is 0.019. Radiotherapy showed significantly increased progression-free survival. That is P-value is 0.009. But this study does not conclude about the overall survival. And disparity, it also shows disparity between recurrence result and survival result. Adenocarcinoma or adenosquamous variety are more sensitive to radiotherapy than others. And complication of radiotherapy increase the morbidity, but it is not statistically significant. So now the conclusion. Pelvic radiotherapy, if after radical surgery, significantly reduce the risk of recurrence and progression-free survival in women with stage 1B cervical cancer, appeared to be particularly beneficial for the patient with adenocarcinoma or adenosquamous histology. Circumstances that may have influenced the overall survival differences are considered. The strength of the study are the study is well designed, period is long, and both groups are well balanced, which was ensured during randomization. The study was designed with strict quality control for both pathology and radiotherapy, which was ensured by GOG pathologist and radiotherapy committee. And quality was also ensured for completeness of surgical procedure by reviewing operative reports. There was some limitation of the study. Sample size was too low. The study period was not enough for estimation of overall survival, and the distribution of individual risk factor between the treatment regimen was somewhat imbalanced. Larger number of patients with positive capillary lymphatic space involvement were present in no further treatment regime, that is 35% versus 24%, and more patients were with more than 4 centimeter diameter were in our radiotherapy regime, that is 62 versus 54%. And there was less compliance to adjuvant radiotherapy. Tumor diameter was estimated by palpation, so possibility of inter-observer variability was more, and salvage therapy and its toxicity were not recorded. There was histologic variation, and histologic variation of tumor was more in RTM, but the imbalance didn't reduce effectiveness. Tumor size, which is an independent prognostic factor, precluded from the study, although it contributed to the recurrence and mortality. Complication of radiotherapy is varied from 3% to 30% or described as grade 3 or 4, and this difference was not statistically significant. Lymphedema of lower extremity, which is not considered, though it is significant complication of combined radiotherapy, lymphadenectomy, and radiotherapy. So the clinical implication is the study reestablishment of the SEDLIS criteria and the role of radiotherapy in local control of cervical cancer. And the study update the recurrence-free interval, but doesn't include the overall survival, as the vast majority of survival, that is survivors, that is 97.3% radiotherapy arm and 91% in observation arm has no recurrence, and whereas most of those who died due to recurrent disease. So thank you everybody for kind attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Meena. Now I request Dr. Kamal Bhai, Dr. F.M. Kamaluddin to comment on this paper. Kamal Bhai, please. Is there anybody who can comment, who want to comment on this paper?
Kamal Bhai, aste aste Shahanapa, I can comment. Actually, I have, before comments, I have 3 questions to Dr. Meena Chaudhary. Dr. Meena, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Thank you, madam. Yes.
I am Dr. Jannatul Firdaus.
Yes, Assalamualaikum, madam.
Alaikum Assalam. Actually, in your paper, this is the presentation. Actually, you present what the paper was published like that. This is not your own paper.
Yes. Yes.
So my question is, there was deep stromal. Actually, in this study, there was 2 groups. One group got radiotherapy and other no radiotherapy. That is, they were in observation. And there was deep stromal invasion in observer group 2, and it is also percentage more or less similar. But did they mention about the ethical background? Why, in spite of having such deep stromal invasion in a significant number of patients, they didn't give radiotherapy? Did the paper explain the ethical background?
No, madam. There was no ethical explanation about this ethical background. At last, its inference was that this study needs further evaluation about this invasion and also the tumor histology.
Okay. I just wanted to know about the ethical implication. I think Kamal Bhai can answer better this. And another question, there is 2% recurrence after 6 years. I want to know in which group, in radiotherapy group or in observation group?
2% recurrence was more total 4%, 2% in observation group and 2% in radiotherapy group.
Yes, you said that 2% recurrence after 6 years.
Yes.
After 6 years, 2% recurrence.
Yes.
I just want to know in which group this recurrence occurred, in radiotherapy or in observation group?
It was
2% recurrence after 6 years.
After 6 years, it was in observation group.
In observation group.
Yes.
Okay. And Shahanapa, this was my question, but I think there are some limitations of this study because the sample size is too low in number. I think what is the sample size? 293 or 297? What is the sample size?
277.
277. And with this sample size, we cannot comment on the adverse effect because adverse effect like hematological, urinary was more in the radiotherapy group than the observation group. Though statistically was not significant, but I think sample size, if we could include more number of the patient, then we can confirm whether radiotherapy group the side effect occur more in the radiotherapy group. This is one. And another thing, adenocarcinoma and adenosquamous was
adenosquamous varieties are more sensitive to radiotherapy.
I don't know why. Kamal Bhai also can answer this because we all know that squamous cell carcinoma is very sensitive to radiotherapy. But this study shows that adenocarcinoma and adenosquamous is more sensitive to radiotherapy. And also you mentioned that the duration limitation of the study, that the duration is short. I think duration is quite long. It is 11 years study.
It's 12
Started
years.
in 1995.
But
95
here,
and
for if we in
2006. Okay,
it
then
is
11
mainly for the sorry, ma'am.
Yes,
It
11 years
is
study.
too long, but
Why
I mentioned
they
that it
couldn't assess overall survival? I don't know why. These are actually, I think these are also limitations, and other member who are present here, and obviously Dr. Kamal Bhai will answer my question. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Jonaki, thank you for raising many issues. So let me start by one. First of all, yes.
I have an observation also. So you can answer as a whole, Jonaki Appa's my question.
Okay.
So in this, they excluded the patient of positive pelvic nodes, but there was no comment about the parametrium positive or vault margin positive patients. These are two high-risk group of patients who need concurrent chemoradiation or brachytherapy with external beam as an adjuvant therapy. So in this group of patients, they excluded just the pelvic positive node positive patient. What about this patient?
Okay, so Lima, there are so many questions. If I miss, please remind me. So start with you. They have mentioned about the positive node because if you look at the previous GOG study of 92, before this there was another GOG study where they have seen that the node is a predictive factor. And there they have identified this intermediate risk group. That is the LVSI, that is the tumor size, and this deep stromal invasion. So all the involvement, I mean the inclusion criteria was based on this. So beyond this, nothing was accepted, right? Positive margin, parametria node, nothing was there. So it was totally excluded. They discussed about the node because they were comparing node versus no node outcome. That's why. And number two, coming back to Jonaki's answer, this is quite interesting that when they have done the first analysis, it was 3 years analysis. So they have shown that there is a local control, but within 3 years, they could not make a comment on survival. So they have followed the same cohort for 12 years. And in 12 years, they have seen the local control achieved within the first 3 years, persistently maintained up to total 12 years. And what Meena was telling, that is quite interesting, that all the majority of the recurrence happened within first 6 years. And thereafter, there was only total 4, 2 in observation arm, 2 in radiotherapy arm. There was only 4 mortality after that. So the observation is that beyond 6 years, the impact of, the detrimental effect is not that much. Number 3, regarding the why they could not conclude. Sample size, they didn't design the study for this. The first design was to see the effect of local control and progression-free survival. Secondary was overall survival. So the study was powered 80%, and the sample 46% reduction was their target, which this study achieved. So with the intervention, 46% reduction of local recurrence was achieved. So they have achieved the primary endpoint. The surprising thing is that if you look at the overall survival, progression-free survival curve, it is persistently separated from beginning to up to 12 years. But in the overall survival curve, at the end of 10, 11 years, they have, meet each other. So to comment on a definitive OS, they need to follow up more, that where the curve remain together or again separate. That's why the conclusion from 12 years is that this group have an obvious recurrence of local recurrence by 46%, and there is a significant progression-free survival benefit by adjuvant radiotherapy. There is a trend toward better overall survival, but not significant enough to make a comment. And last, the question of why we know that squamous is more sensitive to radiotherapy, but they have concluded that adenosquamous and adeno had resulted better. So the answer to this is maybe, this was observation. So as AK was telling, there are many hypotheses. One of the hypotheses is that we know that if you look at the Landoni et al. Trial, that adeno was doing better than squamous with surgery, 15% better survival. So what we are looking here, we are looking here at the result of surgery plus adjuvant radiotherapy. So when there is a surgery plus adjuvant radiotherapy, the squamous is getting a 15% less benefit of surgery compared to adeno. And there, so let us assume both is getting equal from radiation. So end of the day, due to the postoperative outcome, adeno is getting a better benefit. So that's why even, and there is a interesting paper published in JCO article May 2020. So they have taken all the non-treated patients of 3 GOG trial, 92 before there, and initial, there was 141, I think, I don't remember the 3-star study, including GOG 92. So what they have done, they have taken the patient who were not treated by any adjuvant, only the surgery group, stage 1B. And they have come to a conclusion that it is not Sleddy's criteria. They are telling that for adeno, only tumor size is the prognostic factor. But in squamous, the contribution of LBSI and stromal invasion is there. So they are telling that maybe this GOG 92 was based on all histopathology, but maybe there is a need to identify the risk factor on based of histopathology. It may not be the same for as squamous and adeno. So they have suggested to have a prospective randomized control trial on separate histopathology to see the effect of adjuvant treatment. Regarding the toxicity that Jonaki has said, the number of sample may not be enough. Rather, it is not that. The problem of this study is they have not calculated the salvage treatment and the toxicity in their analysis. So there was a bias of follow-up because radiotherapy was very persistently followed, but the observation was followed less frequently. So they may have missed some toxicity in the observation arm, number one. Number two, we all know that when we are using 2 modality against 1 modality, that is surgery plus radiotherapy, we expect higher rate of toxicity. But the recorded toxicity of grade 3 and 4 is not statistically significant. So we can say that with this adjuvant treatment in the high-risk group, we are achieving a 46% reduction of local recurrence at a cost of toxicity. So the conclusion is that as we are not offering an OS, so we need to discuss with the patient that, look, there is a surgery done, wonderful surgery, but unfortunately there are some risk factor where we can give you a radiotherapy and we can expect a 40+% less recurrence, but we are not sure about the OS, but at a cost of some toxicity, which may be up to grade 3 and 4. If you agree, we can give, otherwise we should not give. So this is the final recommendation of this long-term follow-up of GOG 92. So the comment is that even we see a risk factor, we should not jump into the adjuvant treatment. We need to explain it to the patient. We need to think about it, and then we should offer it. Another interesting thing is that they have seen the tumor size less than 4, even with 2 centimeters. But they found that the effect of less than 2 centimeters with middle part of the stromal invasion, the effect was not significant. So the finally concluded is that if the middle and inner third of the stromal invasion, tumor size more than 4, and space in the lymphatic space invasion, any 2, that will be accepted as the criteria. 2 centimeter and inner third will not be a criteria. LBSI negative is not a criteria. So even they have made a 5 subclassification. Finally, they found 2 out of 5 was not significant. So the 3 criteria, that is 4 centimeter or more, LBSI positive, and middle or more than half of the stromal invasion, remain the risk factor from where 2 can be considered for candidate of adjuvant radiotherapy. I think I have covered all the questions.
What about adenocarcinoma? Is
Adenocarcinoma lima, as I told, that adeno and adenosquamous, we also know we need to treat it as adeno. They have shown even the percentage is very low. Majority of 70 to 80% of the squamous, but small number of adeno and adenosquamous shown a better survival with adjuvant, better result with adjuvant radiotherapy. It is an indication, but it is not a conclusion, because this small number cannot be a conclusion. So they recommended that there should be a prospective trial with adeno or adenosquamous only to see whether it justifies.
Thank you, Kamal bhai. I think adeno variety is a confounding factor here. If they could exclude the adeno, then we can definitely conclude that whether actually whether the site sensitivity is more or not.
Yeah, you are correct, Jonaki. But the problem is, we all know that adeno doesn't respond. I mean, adeno outcome is not equal to squamous. But till today, all the cervical cancer, both surgery, radiotherapy, chemoradiotherapy, we are not yet doing a separation. We are treating all as the same, except the Japanese. What Japanese are treating all the adeno with surgery.
Yes.
Then they are giving adjuvant treatment. That is the Japanese protocol. But rest of the world is still treating adenosquamous under the same roof, knowing that there is some difference. So that's why the GOG has recommended this GOG 92 group, longer follow-up group, that there should be a prospective trial with independent histopathological type to find out what is the secret behind it and whether we should be considering it separately.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Now we are running behind the time. Yeah. Now is the research methodology, the class, Dr. Tahmina. Thank you, Kamal bhai, and thank you, Dr. Jannatul and Dr. Shahida Alam. All of your comment.
Yeah.
All of your comment about this journal. Now I request Dr. Tahmina. Tahmina? Yeah. She'll talk on the biostatistics, yeah. Tahmina slide share দেন আপনি তো স্লাইড ছিল
পুলিশ
পরিচয় দিয়ে বলেন তাহমিনা পরিচয় দিয়ে শুরু করেন বলেন
Madam, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please proceed.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to today's biostatistics session. And I'm Dr. Tahmina Akhtar, Assistant Registrar, National Institute of Cancer Research and Hospital, going to present the basic concepts of biostatistics. What is the statistics? Any sorts of data dealing is statistics. Statistics makes the data usable for the users according to some rules and regulations of data management. Statistics means the summary value of sample. Example, the mean systolic blood pressure of the sample of 200 doctors is 125 millimeter of mercury. What is the biostatistics? When the statistical tools are used in life science, it is called biostatistics. Collection, analysis, and interpretation of biological data, and especially data relating to human biology, health, and medicine is called biostatistics.
The statistics may be descriptive or inductive statistics. The descriptive statistics is what in which the data analysis is done without probability. But in case of inductive statistics, the statistical methods are used and theories of probabilities is an important issue. So the descriptive statistics reflects the data collection, construction of a data file, data classification, tabulation, frequency distribution, measures of location, measures of dispersion, measures of skewness curtices, that is shape of the data, and graph and diagram, that is graphical representation of the data. All these are included in the descriptive statistics. But when the inductive statistics is used, in that case, power tools of statistical methods based on theories of probability, that is p-value, is used, and it uses the estimation of parameters, testing of statistical hypotheses. In following this inductive statistics, the statistician will decide sample is representing the population or not, is analyzed in this type of statistics. So, for better understanding the biostatistics, we'll now discuss regarding the population, which is especially the parameter, then the sample, which is taken from the population, must be representative sample, and the data and variables, the types of the data and variables, and the measurement. Measurement will be discussed. I will now discuss regarding the population. The population is the aggregation of any individuals or items of interest in any particular study. Difficult to collect data when the population is large scattered, needs more time, money, and power. When huge data, non-sampling error is more. The type of the population includes finite population, finite number of individuals, that is example of a class or slum population, which can be countable, or it is a finite number. But in case of infinite population, such as Hilsa Elisa in the Bay of Bengal, which cannot be counted, and it is called infinite population. The population may be target population and study population. The target population indicates the complete group of subjects. When, as example, if we consider the nutritional status of the under 5 children in Bangladesh, the whole country, in the whole country, the population of under 5 children will be the target population. But when the portion of population are listed in the sampling frame, it is called study population, because some of the individuals may be absent due to death or migration. Existing population is called study population when sampling frame is prepared. Each individual in this study population is unique. It is a very important term which is usually used in a study, that is parameter. Parameter is the summary value of a population. Parameter reflects the population characteristics. When we will find out the mean of a target of a population, then we will call it as a parameter. The mean will be identified as a parameter. Example, the mean systolic blood pressure of all doctors of Bangladesh is 130 millimeter of mercury. Now, what is the sample? Sample is the representative part of the population. Collection of information from the sample and then generalize the result to the whole population. Generalization of the information collected from the sample is called inference. One of the most important issue is that the sample must be representable. If we take the nutritional status of under 5 children of Bangladesh, we must take the sample of under 5 children, which will be a portion of the population. Now, what is the data? Data are the piece of information about individuals organized into variables. Individuals means the particular person or object. Data can be classified as primary data or secondary data. In case of primary data, it is collected by asking questions directly by the investigators. Primary data is useful than any other data. In case of secondary data, collection of information by any other means from the reports, publications, or cancer registry. Now, what is the variables? Any characteristics that vary from individual to individual, object to object, and location to location is called variable. Example, height, weight, and blood pressure. It will vary in person to person. Characteristics of the variable is expressed in values. Example, when the age of a person is 51 years, age will be the variable and the years in number will be the value. There are two types of variable, which is qualitative variables. Variables that contain quantitative data can be measured and expressed numerically. The numbers can be placed in ascending or descending orders. Example, family size, height, weight, which can be expressed numerically, is the quantitative data. Variable. And it may be discrete or continuous. Discrete variables, counted items, no fraction, and isolated terms, such as number of the children, which is expressed in numbers and without any fraction. But in case of continuous data, measured characteristics can be fractionated, such as weight. What are the type variables? That again, that is qualitative variables that contain categorical data is called categorical variables or qualitative variables. These variables cannot be measured and expressed numerically, can only be identified by name or categories. Example, color, gender, that is male or female, economic status. Data can be divided according to the groups, according to some similarities, such as quantitative variables depend on data grouping, qualitative variables depend on data grouping, geographical variables according to the geographical location, such as the nutritional status of under 5 children in different divisions of Bangladesh, such as Dhaka, Kumilla, and other Chittagong, etc. This is geographical data grouping. And time series of chronological data presented in respect of years, such as change rate of population over a time period. What is the data set? Data set represents the information of variables of sets of all values. Data set include qualitative and quantitative variables. Increasing the variables will increase the volume and size of the data set. Now I will discuss regarding the method of data collection. Data is collected usually by the questionnaire or schedule method. In case of questionnaire method, series of questionnaires are formed and respondent will fill or respond to the questionnaire. Schedule, in case of schedule data collection of the data either by direct interview or over telephone. So in case of interview technique, there is personal interview, asking questionnaire, and telephone interview. And questionnaire technique, there is mail questionnaire. Questionnaire are sent to the respondent through the mail or mass media. Respondent return after answering. Panel questionnaire data are collected repeatedly from the same individual. Are used data collected from the registry book or recorded register. What are the scales of measurement? That is qualitative data measured by nominal and ordinal scale, and quantitative data is measured by interval or ratio. Qualitative data measurement, in case of nominal scale, it only identifies, that is identification only. There is no comparison, no ranking, and not numerically expressed. Example, gender male or female, and location North City Corporation or South City Corporation. But in ordinal scale, there is identification, comparison, and ranking, not numerically expressed. Example, socioeconomic status, it can be compared, it can be ranked and identified. And pain score, which is also ranked severe, moderate, low, or no pain. In case of quantitative data measurement, there is interval scale, that is numerically expressed, ordered. 0 has a meaning of full value. Addition and subtraction can be done. Difference between two values is meaningful. Example, IQ scored 0 does not mean that absence of IQ. This 0 value means level of IQ. That means 0 IQ persons also have some IQ, but is this expressed as 0? So in that case, 0 is not an absolute value. But in ratio scale, 0 has an absolute value, such as age, height, and pulse rate. And in that case, has all the properties of interval scale, and addition, subtraction, multiplication, division can be done. Now a little brief view on the geographical presentation of data, it is nothing but make the data easy to understand for the readers. They can be expressed, they can be plotted in bar diagram, pie chart, histogram, and frequency polygon curve, etc. This is the bar diagram showing the qualitative data. Bar diagram and pie charts are usually used to express the qualitative data. And the histogram and frequency polygon, these are usually used to plot the quantitative data. So the readers can easily understand the results. So thank you all for this session, for patience hearing. Thank you.
হঠাৎ করে তাহমিনাকে হঠাৎ করে বলা হয়েছে ও আসলে প্রিপেয়ার ছিল না, এটা আরেকজনের প্রেজেন্টেশন ছিল। তাহমিনাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ যে এতটুকু সময়ের মধ্যে হলেও একটা সুন্দর প্রেজেন্টেশন দিয়েছে। কামাল ভাই, কামাল ভাই
হ্যাঁ বলো।
বললেন এটা কিছু, ও তো হঠাৎ করে দুপুরে শুনছে যে যার প্রেজেন্টেশন ছিল ওর একটা প্রবলেম আছে।
না এটা তো মানে নিঃসন্দেহে she should be congratulated because within few hours notice কেউ আমাদেরকে সব বলতে বললে আমরা সাহসী করতাম না। So she is a good presenter and she has done a wonderful job. এবং যে যার এগেইনস্টে সে বলছে আমার মনে হয় তাকে এটার একটা পেনাল্টি করা উচিত, কম্পেনসেশন ওকে একটা ডিনার খাওয়ানো উচিত। দ্যাট ইজ দ্য রিকমেন্ডেশন।
পেনাল্টি দিতে হবে।
বাট ওয়েল ডান, গুড।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
আর কেউ কিছু বলবেন? কারোর কিছু এটা সম্বন্ধে কারোর কিছু বলার আছে ওর প্রেজেন্টেশন সম্বন্ধে? নাহলে কি আমরা শেষ করে দিব? স্যারকে বলবো
আমাদের যারা অডিয়েন্সদের মধ্যে নট অনলি প্রেজেন্টেশন অন ওভারঅল এভরিওয়্যার কোনো ব্যাপারে কোনো কমেন্ট থাকলে করতে পারে, দেন আমরা শেষ করি। 5 মিনিট দেখো কেউ কমেন্ট করবে কিনা। এনিবডি?
ইফাতারা ম্যাডাম আছে বোধহয়। ইফাতারা ম্যাডাম আছেন বোধহয়। ম্যাডাম আসসালামু আলাইকুম। ম্যাডাম আসসালামু আলাইকুম। ম্যাডাম আপনি কিছু বলেন ম্যাডাম। ইফাতারা ম্যাডাম। সামির,
বানু আপা আছে আর রোকেয়া আছে, ওদের সঙ্গে দেখো ওনারা কিছু বললো কিনা। সিনিয়ররা যারা আছে এনিবডি মেক সাম কমেন্টস, দেন আমরা শেষ করি আর কি। তাপস কিছু বলবে নাকি?
হ্যাঁ, মিউচুয়ালি এক্সক্লুসিভ ডাটা সম্পর্কে কি বলতে পারবেন? মিউচুয়ালি এক্সক্লুসিভ ডাটা
তো মিনা তাপসের কোশ্চেনের আনসার করো। তাহমিনা
স্যার
আপনাকে
তাপসের একটা কোশ্চেন আছে। তাপস, ক্যান ইউ রিপিট দ্য কোশ্চেন?
তাপস আবার বলেন, আরেকবার বলেন।
What is mutually exclusive data?
Sorry, Dr. Taposh, I cannot answer your question because when I read regarding the data, this term I cannot find at all. But I have heard the complex data or scattered data, not mutually exclusive data. So if anyone can discuss.
আচ্ছা, আমি মিউচুয়ালি এক্সক্লুসিভ মানে যেমন ধরেন দুটো জিনিস আছে, যেমন নারী এবং ছেলে এবং মেয়ে, একটা হলে আরেকটা হবে না, ছেলে হলে মেয়ে হবে না, মেয়ে হলে ছেলে হবে না, এটাই হচ্ছে মিউচুয়ালি এক্সক্লুসিভ। মানে যে কোনো একটা হবে। হ্যাঁ, বয় অর গার্ল, ধরেন যে রিলিজিয়ন যে কোনো দুটো যদি থাকে, মুসলিম অথবা অমুসলিম, যে কোনো দুটোর মধ্যে যে কোনো একটাকে নেওয়া যাবে, আরেকটা না হবে না। এটাই হচ্ছে মিউচুয়ালি এক্সক্লুসিভ। মিউচুয়ালি ইনক্লুসিভ একটা টার্ম আছে, এটা ভুলে গেছি আমি, এটারও একটা টার্ম আছে, হোয়াট ইজ মিউচুয়ালি ইনক্লুসিভ ডেটা।
তাপস কিন্তু রিসার্চ মেথডোলজির প্রেজেন্টেশন কারণ সে অনেক ভালো, প্রায় এরকমের কোশ্চেন। নেক্সট টাইম কিন্তু আমরা তাপস আমাদের একটা প্রেজেন্টেশন
Good
না,
suggestion.
ইনশাআল্লাহ অবশ্যই। তাপস এর পরে
মিউচুয়ালি ইনক্লুসিভ হলে এটার উল্টাটা, মানে আপনি যেটা বলেছেন ডক্টর তাপস, মানে আইদার মেল অর ফিমেল, এটা হচ্ছে মিউচুয়ালি এক্সক্লুসিভ, এনিওয়ান
এক্সক্লুসিভ।
হ্যাঁ, আর ইনক্লুসিভ মানে হচ্ছে যে এটা বিপরীতটা, যখন দুটাই হতে পারে, মানে বোথ মে হ্যাপেন, এই জিনিসটা আর কি।
ঝুমিয়াপা হেড অফ দ্য ডিপার্টমেন্ট, ঢাকা মেডিকেল কলেজ, ঝুমিয়াপা আপা কিছু বলেন। মিনা চৌধুরীর বস, আচ্ছা আপা বোধহয় বলবে না। ম্যাডাম বানু ম্যাডাম আপনি কিছু বলেন আমাদের।
TYCLAV ট্রাইক্লেভ 375 mg, 3 বেলা, সকাল দুপুর রাত 3 বেলা
খাওয়ান, পরে 3 বেলা পরে খাওয়ান।
Thank you, Dr. Shahana. Did you ask me anything?
জি ম্যাডাম, যে আপনি একটা আমাদের প্রোগ্রামটা সম্বন্ধে অ্যাজ এ হোল আজকের বিয়েটা সম্বন্ধে একটু কমেন্ট করেন ম্যাডাম।
As a whole, আমি লাস্ট পার্টে একটু ছিলাম না, যাই হোক ফার্স্ট পার্ট তো আমার খুবই ভালো লেগেছে, তাদের প্রেজেন্টেশন এবং ফর অ্যান্ড এগেনস্ট যে ডিবেটটা ছিল, দ্যাট ওয়াজ অলসো ভেরি গুড, ইনফরমেটিভ। আর পেপারটা প্রেজেন্ট করলো যে কি নাম ছিল, মিনা, ডক্টর মিনা,
জি ম্যাডাম,
she also did very well, and especially I was a bit surprised to know that adenocarcinoma issue that is very radio sensitive, but as a radiation oncologist we have something, we have experienced something else. Most of the time I see my adenocarcinoma patient comes with recurrence and difficult to treat. I think your experience also to some extent like this, but it was very nice. And the part Dr. Kamal talked about the different issues of the study and explanation, it was very nice. So as a whole, I have learned many things, and it is really enjoyable. And I'm sorry that last part, that is last statistics part, I didn't hear much, so I can't comment anything. So thank you very much. And this was very good presentation and very nice, very educative, informative. Thank you.
থ্যাংক ইউ ম্যাডাম, থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। ডক্টর খদিজা বেগম ঝুমিয়াপা আপা আছেন? আপনাদের সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ। আমরা সবাই আপনাদের সবার কাছে কৃতজ্ঞ, আমাদের অনকোলজি ক্লাব এবং অনকোলজি ক্লাবের পক্ষ থেকে সবাই। আমাদের যদি কোনো জায়গায়, আমরা জানি আমরা মাত্র শুরু করেছি, আমরা আশা করি ইনশাআল্লাহ আমরা চেষ্টা করতে করতে আরেকটু ভালো জায়গায় পৌঁছাতে পারবো। আমরা এত ভালো করে এখন ওই রকমের মানে ওয়েল প্রিপেয়ার্ড হয়ে বা অত সুন্দরভাবে আমরা করতে পারতেছি না। আমাদের যতটুকু ভুল ত্রুটি সবকিছুর জন্য আমাদেরকে আপনারা ক্ষমা করে দিবেন এবং আপনারা আমাদের সঙ্গে থাকবেন, এটা আমরা আশা করি। আমরা এক্সপেক্ট করি যে আপনারা রেগুলার আমাদের সাথে থাকেন, তাইলে আমরা সবাই এনকারেজড হব, আমরা সবাই মানে খুব খুশি হব এবং আমরা সবাই ইনশাআল্লাহ পার্টিসিপেট করব। এখন আমাদের কুইজের যে রেজাল্টটা এটা দিবে, কুইজের ইয়েটা ডক্টর মানে মিস্টার সামির, কুইজ ওনার কে আজকে
কুইজের লিংক দেওয়া হবে, এখন কুইজ হলে দেন quiz link is given.
Quiz link is not seen. I have
আরেকবার দেন, কুইজ লিংক ওরা দেখতে পাচ্ছে না, আরেকবার দেন।
Give another time. Quiz link hasn't been shown yet.
I have given again, sir.
Okay, now, got it. Thank you.
নিজে কিন্তু সবার পার্টিসিপেট করতে হবে, দেখা যাবে ও একাই, কারণ ও খুবই সিনসিয়ার, এই কিন্তু
না ম্যাডাম, আমি আজকে ঝিমাইছি বসে বসে।
হ্যাঁ, আজকেও রেজাল্ট পেয়ে যাবেন।
You did not finish it. Yes, I forgot. It's still 9. Still 9. Yeah, it's still 1.
Easy.
Madam, I have a request.
Yes, Riyad.
স্যার বায়োস্ট্যাটের সেশনটা কি স্যার শুরুতে করা যায় কিনা, ম্যাডামের কাছে রিকোয়েস্ট, কারণ স্যার বায়োস্ট্যাটের সেশনটা আসলে শেষের দিকে গিয়ে
কনসেন্ট্রেশন অত বেশি থাকে না। এটা কি শুরুতে রাখা যায় কিনা?
Okay, madam will think and consider and let you know.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Again today, Dr. Altaf Hussain Riyad. Dekhan Altaf Hussain Riyad again.
Who is he, Dr. Altaf Hussain Riyad?
Radiation oncology student, MD student, radiation oncology, NICRS.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ আপনারা সকলে আমাদের সাথে থাকার জন্য, কারণ আপনারা আছেন দেখি আসলে এই প্রোগ্রামটা করা সম্ভব হয়েছে। আমরা আশা করব এবং আমরা সকলকে রিকোয়েস্ট করব আপনারা রেগুলার সবাই আমাদের সাথে থাকবেন। আমি যদি কোনো আর কারোর কোনো কোশ্চেন না থাকে, আই রিকোয়েস্ট আওয়ার প্রেসিডেন্ট প্রফেসর এম এ হাই স্যার টু কনক্লুড দ্য সেশন। স্যার প্লিজ।
থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। ভালো হয়েছে প্রোগ্রাম মোটামুটি, তবে আমি দুঃখিত হয়েছি অনেক সময় নষ্ট হয়েছে। আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করব সামনে মঙ্গলবারের আগে এর পরের 3 মঙ্গলবারের কি কি সাবজেক্ট ডিসকাশন হবে, কি প্রোগ্রাম হবে, পুরোটা আমাকে জানান। সামনে মঙ্গলের মধ্যে পরের 3 মঙ্গলবারে কি হবে পুরো ডিটেলস আমাকে জানাতে হবে।
জি স্যার।
কে কে করবে না করবে এদিকে সব শিখে দেবো ঠিক মতো। যখন শুরু হবে 9টার আগে আধা ঘন্টা আগে আসবে, স্ক্রিন শেয়ার ঠিক মতো করতে পারে কিনা এগুলো দেখতে হবে, সব শিখে দিয়ে ঠিক মতো করতে হবে, সময় নষ্ট না হয়।
স্যার
অলরেডি 11টা বাজে।
স্যার
এত সময় পর্যন্ত আটকে রাখা তো ঠিক আমরা সবাইকে যত তাড়াতাড়ি সময় ওইটা একটু ঠিক করতে হবে। এমনি ছেলে পেলেগুলো কষ্ট করতে যত শিখতেছে চেষ্টা করতেছে চেষ্টা করতে হবে। আমার মনে হচ্ছে টাইম শিডিউলটা মেনটেন করতে পারলে খুব ভালো, এটা একটা শিক্ষার বিষয়, এটাকে লাইটলি নিলে হবে না, এটাকে আমাদের ঠিক করতে হবে। ঠিক আছে
স্যার,
সুন্দর হয়েছে, আরো সুন্দর হবে ইনশাআল্লাহ ভবিষ্যতে। আগে থেকে প্ল্যান করতে হবে, বাজার থেকে এসে করলে হবে না যে আজকে যেমন সুমন আসতে পারলো না, এটা খামে গেল জিনিসটা। এই জিনিসগুলো যাতে না হয় সেই জন্য অ্যাটলিস্ট 3 সপ্তাহ আগে থেকে সব প্রোগ্রাম রেডি করতে হবে।
ওই যে ডাক্তার তাহমিনা যে
ভালো, থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ সবাইকে, গুড বাই।
ও ইভিনিং ডিউটি করে ওখানে বসে রেডি করছে, ওর আজকে ইভিনিং ছিল হসপিটালে।
বুঝতে পারছো তো?
স্যার বুঝতে পারছি স্যার, আমরা নিয়ে নিব ওদের কাছ থেকে সকলের
চেষ্টা করতে হবে, তোমার কথা শুনতে পাচ্ছি না
স্যার। ঠিক আছে স্যার,
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার। স্যার
আমারটা মাইক্রোফোন মুট করা ছিল, যেন মানে স্পিকার মুট করে শুনতে পাইনি। যাই হোক, ইনশাআল্লাহ ভালো হয়েছে, ইনশাআল্লাহ ভবিষ্যতে আরো ভালো হবে। সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ, অনেকে সিনিয়ররা হয়েছেন তাদেরকে আমার ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি। ইনশাআল্লাহ আল্লাহর রহমতে খুব ভালো হবে। থ্যাংক ইউ শাহানা, থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার। স্যার সাউন্ড
বন্ধ করে দাও। বাই বাই এভরিবডি, আল্লাহ হাফেজ।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়া আলাইকুম সালাম।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
বাই বাই।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।